What's going on, Workforce? Bryan here, and today we're exploring what went wrong with Anthem. This is a new article that's been posted on Kotaku by Jason Schreier. Hopefully I'm not butchering his name too bad, but he's posted a lot of in-depth research into various different things related to gaming. So in this article, that the link will be in the description below, it's a long article. I highly recommend you go read it and dive into it for yourself. But essentially it comes down to the conclusion that, yeah, it feels pretty much spot on. With various quotes like, "In such a last-minute upheaval might seem like a strange outside observer, but on Anthem it was common. Very few things went right in development on BioWare's latest game. The online cooperative shooter was first teased back in mid-2012, but it spent years floundering in pre-production. Many features weren't finalized or implemented until the very final moments. And some who worked on the project, it wasn't even clear what kind of game Anthem was until the E3 demo of June 2017. Now, this article goes in and talks about the various different state of the game, state of just the mental anguish, and the difficulty the developers all had. And essentially talks about something called the BioWare magic, the belief that where no matter how rough a game's production might be, things will always come together in the final months. The game will always coalesce. It happened in the Mass Effect trilogy, on Dragon Age Origins, and on Inquisition. Veteran BioWare developers like to refer to the production as a hockey stick that is flat for a while and then suddenly jolts upward. Even when the project feels like a complete disaster, there's a belief that with enough hard work and enough difficult crunch, it will all come together. As an outside observer of this, as somebody who works in software development, but not specifically in game development, I can really understand and relate to these feelings. In fact, that's actually been something that we've seen within this whole ecosystem. When you look at the game and the things that I love about the game and the things that I enjoy about the game, yet it still doesn't necessarily feel like a complete, fully realized vision. And that's what this article hints at. This is what the article dives into. Essentially, there was a management problem. Somebody really wasn't calling the shots. So a lot of things that took a lot of time didn't really need to take a lot of time. It just needed somebody to say, like, this is what we're building. Now, in development, things change all the time. You could start out with one thing and you end up with something completely different. That's just kind of the nature of it. And especially when things take such a long time, that's where things come together. One of the common things that I see in my comments anytime I talk about Anthem is that, yeah, it took 6 years and this is what we got. This does not feel like a 6-year-old game. And I think that's one of the things that in a weird way, this article essentially reaffirms. That this game, this Anthem, what we got today, really didn't come together until the last 18 months. A lot of this also somewhat seems to point the finger at the Frostbite engine. Even recently, IGN's own Ryan McCaffrey tweeted out, "I'm obviously not a game developer. However, as an observer, I wonder when EA will stop mandating Frostbite for every game it makes internally. It seems to cause many problems. Have they noticed that their most successful thing, Apex Legends, doesn't even run on Frostbite?" And I think that's also something that is incredibly frustrating. I get the development mindset. I get the cost mindset of, if we build something over here, this other team can take advantage of it. But they're trying to fit a square peg in a round hole. Now, how do we progress from here? The game is launched. People own the game. It is now actually over pretty much with the live service team, which is the Austin BioWare team. In fact, the article even goes to talk about how the BioWare team, the Austin team, who has done games as a service games like Star Wars, is saying, okay, let's just get this game released so we can have it, we can have that ownership of it, and we can fix it. So that's actually personally for me something that gives me a lot of hope, is that it is now technically in the hands of a team who didn't get their voice heard. That's kind of ties into the management problem that this article references, that there wasn't a clear vision for it. And by the time there was, obviously, you can see what the final game came out with. The Metacritic of 55, I think right now is what the score is. Obviously, a lot of the player base and gamers all around are frustrated with the overall style of the game. There's positives here, and that's actually one of the things that when reading this article, I actually see a lot of hope and potential in what they can do. Lessons learned are obviously not learned here in this case. I think that there's definitely a lot of frustration going on right now. The best thing for the devs right now is hopefully they're still passionate about it. The article talks about when they started this, they were excited, they were passionate, they were doing all these different things. They had flying, they took it out, they brought it back in, they changed all these different things. So there was a lot of trial and error when trying to develop this property. The game is out. It is in a state which that it just feels wrong. It just feels like this article really kind of nails what you feel about the game. Like, okay, well, why is this not here? Or why is this not here? And to be fair, also one of the things this article does reference is that when the game was getting ready to launch, the team felt like it was in a good state. It's not a complete state. It's not a state that I think they wanted to launch it in, but it still also speaks to the issues of Frostbite and the issues of setting a date and having to stick to it. Those are the two main issues that this game holds. We can debate all the intrinsic, like, what kind of quality of life things, what kind of missions, what kind of content. All that's true, and that's all needs to be fixed. I think ultimately they arrived at something interesting, just incomplete. I've said that, for a while now, and I'm going to keep saying that. Like, I really enjoy what is here as a foundation for hopefully what's to come. Being that this article references that the Austin team is in charge of it, that they kept pointing out issues that the main team from the storytelling perspective said that they wanted to do. It's a game that is clearly had a lot of chefs, and I'm hopeful that as we go forward, they can get that corrected. One of the things that also then really confirms the legitimacy of this article is that even without anything happening, BioWare themselves released a blog post kind of referencing and addressing this, because obviously they knew this article was coming out, but they didn't respond to this article in its own sense. They chose to go this own way, which honestly doesn't necessarily make me feel any better towards BioWare. It only kind of seems a little bit like they're trying to get ahead of the story, but they only actually, I think, brought it more to the attention and ended up giving it more legitimacy in the long run. In the end, guys, it is what it is. The game obviously needs work, and I hope that they can continue to work on it, and hopefully they can get and put together and kind of finish the things that need to be finished, improve the things that need to be improved, and expand on the game where it definitely needs to be expanded upon. But obviously, time will tell. Now, the issues beyond the engine, beyond EA, and beyond BioWare, we have to wait and see. So we're going to keep talking about it, and we're going to keep seeing what happens and what develops in the world of Anthem. Again, go check out the article. It's a real interesting and good read. It gives a lot of insight as to what was kind of going on behind the scenes. I wish this was a story that obviously ended better. I wish this was a story in which that the BioWare magic at the end came together and completed it. But the nature of the online game really doesn't work out like that. So in the single player game, in those contained worlds where you're not having to worry about all these factors that you can't control, like that seems to work well. But with these online games, obviously not having a beta, not having essentially delayed launch, are things that I think are going to haunt this game for a long time. The question will be, obviously, if they continue to invest in it, can they improve it? And from what we've seen from the team and what we've seen with the team's record, I think they can, as long as they have the passion, the joy, and the will to go about doing it, and the funding. Who can't forget that? Anyway, guys, let me know what you're thinking in the comments below. If you haven't seen this article, again, go check it out. I'd like to know your thoughts, what you're feeling, and let's have that conversation. But for Work to Game, my name's Brian. Thanks so much for watching this video, and hope you have a fantastic day. Take care. Hey guys, it's me, Brian. Thanks so much for watching this video. If you're new here, we hope you hit that subscribe button, check us out. We talk a lot about video games, and we hope to at least hear from you in the comments below. We also try to respond to our comments. We really appreciate the comments, the discussion, all the various points of view that everybody is so kindly, I guess, and politely or impolitely shares with us from time to time. So anyway, guys, again, thanks for watching this video. We hope you hit that like button. We hope you hit that subscribe button. Come back for more content each and every day. We post a lot around here, and we'd love to hear from you about what you like about video games and everything, and especially if you have any questions that you're stuck on in anything. So anyway, signing off. See you next time.